Alright people, welcome back to another video. Alright guys, so today I just got a small video to show you guys, very short video, right? So this right here is going to show you how to optimize your AMD Adrenalin software to give you the best performance, maximize your quality, maximize your FPS. Either or, you can go to one side or you can go to the other side. So I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks to get the best performance out of your game, and how to get it running smoothly and having the visual fidelity looking sturdy as well. Alright, let me just get into it real quick and then I'll show you what's going on, right? So right now I'm running 24.9.1. I updated to 24.10, but I was having some small issues, so I went back to 24.9, but I heard 24.10 is great right now, but I still haven't went back yet. To me, it's basically both of them are the same. I haven't seen any real big difference between both drivers, so I'm just going to stick with this for now until something bigger or major comes out, or it might update again. It depends on how I feel, right? Alright, so what I'm about to show you guys works for both 24.9 and 24.10, so keep that in mind as well. So once you open up the AMD Adrenalin software app and you get in here, first thing I want you to do, you can go to performance, and right here, the overlay tracker. If you're not using any of these, if you're not using the AMD overlay tracker, just disable everything, guys. You don't need this, because even when you're not using it, it's always running these stuff in the background and it might cause some lag or some type of issues with your game. So turn it off just in case if you're not using it. If you're using it, then that's kind of different. Then you can edit to whatever you want to see on your system while you're playing, and you can turn on specifically what you want to see, right? So once you do that, all right, next thing is, once you go over the settings, when you get in here, you go to display. In here, you'll see AMD FreeSync. This is not supported, so that should be off already. You can come to GPU scaling. Make sure this is on, and it's also set to full panel right there. Now, if you're using integer scaling, you want to make sure these two are on as well. I mean, you can't enable integer scaling without GPU scaling on, so you want to make sure it's set to full panel. That's how you get the best quality from integer scaling, and it runs properly in full panel mode. So make sure you have these on, and then you can turn on integer scaling. Alright, so the thing with integer scaling now, you want to make sure your device is on 800p on the device, right? If you go up any further than 800p, like 1080p, 1000p, 1200, 1600, whatever, anything like that, you should turn this off, because the way integer scaling works, it upscale your resolution from the lowest and try to boost it to the highest. So you want to keep your system at 800p so it can upscale your system up to like higher resolution, if you get what I'm saying. So now if you look to the right here, you can see custom colors. This right here is up to you. If you're playing a game and you think it looks kind of washed out, or it doesn't look appealing to you, you could come in here and then you could edit with the custom colors and try to mess with it to make it look to your liking. I never really mess with this, but it's up to you guys. I've seen some people using it to boost their quality and their color and how the game look. So you can mess around with this, guys, and then see if you like it or not. And as you can see, as I'm messing with the colors, you can see my display is actually changing as well, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's up to you. You can mess around with it, guys. Put it to your liking. Alright, so one more thing you could also do to make your experience a lot better. This doesn't mess with your graphics or your FPS, but it gives you a better experience with the software itself, right? So if you go to hotkeys, right, and you see open sidebar, open full screen. So now if you're in a game and you could say, let's say you have AMD full motion frames 2 on, and you want to quickly open it to see what's going on instead of sliding up and then you might mess up your game or anything like that, you got hotkeys where you can just quickly open up the application, and then you can see what's going on if AMD full motion frames is active or anything like that. So as you see right here, you see Alt Z, Alt R. So open sidebars for Alt Z. So let me show you a quick Alt Z. It open up really quickly right here, and then you can see if it's actually active, or you can mess around with the settings real quick in the software instead of you coming out of the game and it was open on top of your game, guys, if you get what I'm saying. So that is a good thing to have and to remember. You could also remap the buttons to your system as well in space so that you have it to quickly open up. The best way to put it is in the back. The back button is M1 or something like that. If you map it to that, then you could quickly open it up, guys, instead of you wiping up on your screen, or if you don't got a keyboard and thing like that. That's a good thing to have enabled as well, so you guys could quickly see what's going on in the AMD software. Next thing is, if you go to gaming, to now go to game, go into any game, let's go into Warhammer. you got Radiant Super Resolution, you want to have this disabled. If you're using FSR, any type of FSR type inside of your game, you want to have this disabled. Reason being, it's like it's the same similar upscaler that's what's in the game built in as FSR. If it's FSR 1, FSR 3, this is a similar upscaler to that as well. So you don't want to be running the same thing that's put more pressure and draw on your processor and your GPU. So you want to be running one at a time. So if you're not using FSR, then you probably can run this as well, because this is the same type of upscaler, guys. Next thing you want to use, if you're not using this and you're just using FSR 3 or FSR 1, any type of FSR, you should be using Radiant Image Sharpening, because this right here gives you a better visual sharpness to your game. So you can go up and down. Usually I'm around between 70 or 80, depending. Sometimes I go to 100, depending on what game you're playing. If you want it to be sharp or not too sharp, that's based on your preference. So you want to be running this when you're using FSR, because FSR do boost your quality visual a little bit, but when you do turn it on, it brings down your visual fidelity a little bit. You get what I'm saying? So this brings it back up by sharpening the edges and the characters and anything that's in the game. So you should have this on as well. Next thing is you should have on is AMD Full Motion Frames 2, because this actually boosts your FPS and also give you a boost in your visual fidelity as well, depending on what mode you choose. So when you turn it on, if you look down here, you'll see high, standard, or auto. You want to have this on high because it gives you a more stable FPS instead of jumping all over the place. It still might go all over, but this gives you a more accurate reading on your FPS and keeps it more stable, right? If you go to performance mode as well, here you want to keep this and quality. This right here focus more on your visual fidelity and gives you a better game attributes and make the game look way better if you have it on quality. So with these two, you want to keep it just like this, guys, and trust me, you will see the difference. It's night and day. Anti-lag right here, it depends on what game you're playing. If you're playing a first-person shooter like Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and type of those games, you might want to have this off because it probably will give you a little bit of lag or anything inside of your game, depending on what you're doing, guys. If you're playing any type of games like Space Marines 2 or Wukong, that's not really a fast-paced kind of game, like shooting game, then you can have this on, guys. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta test it out, because sometimes it gives you some type of glitchiness in your game. So test it out for the game you're playing, and then you'll see what's going on. Over here, I just showed you guys here. So you want to have scaling mode, full panel, and then integer scaling. You could have it on and off depending on what resolution you're running. If you're at 800p, as I said before, you want to have this on so it boosts your fidelity up to higher resolution. AMD FreeSync, I have this off. The Lenovo Legion Go do not support FreeSync, so you want to have this off. And if you have it on, it might give you some type of issue inside the game. So have it off just in case, guys. All right, so next, if you go down, press advanced, you'll see texture filter quality. Right here, you have high, standard, or performance. So if you read right here over the question mark, it says controls optimization points for texture filtering. Standard is typical for best mix of image quality and performance. So right here, it's saying basically it boosts your fidelity and your image quality. But if you go to standard, it's a mix between image quality and performance. I mainly use it on performance so I could boost my FPS a little bit more, if you get what I'm saying. So depending on what you want to use, but I think performance is the best one to go with. Smoother the game, the better your experience. You could put it on standard. As I said before, if you read this, it's typically the mix between image quality and performance. So this might impact your game depending on which one you use, guys. One more thing I want to show you guys. So everything that I showed you, this is in for each game. So you could do this settings for a specific game by game basis, or you could do it for a global basis, so that when you set it up, it works for every game. So it's up to you how you want to do it. So how you do it for global, if you go back to gaming and you go to graphics right here, you can set up everything in here. You see, you got Radiant Image Sharpening, AMD Full Motion Frames 2, Anti-lag, everything in here, guys. So if you want to set it to a global settings and set it up so that it works for every game, you can do that. But I wouldn't recommend you doing that, guys, because not every feature in here works great for every game. So you got to test out the game for each feature and then see which one is best for that game, because some game you might run at 1080p, 1000p, 800p, and as I said before, you shouldn't be using integer scaling if you're going above 800p, and you also shouldn't be using Radiant Image Sharpening if you're using FSR 3. So that's what I'm saying, guys. It's a game by game basis. Next thing, if you go to performance already, I know I showed you this already. So once you disable this, you can use the Lenovo FPS tracker, but the thing is with AMD Fluid Motion Frames 2, sometimes it doesn't work depending when you turn it on. So you want to make sure you turn this on, the FPS tracker from Lenovo, before you go inside the game for AMD Fluid Motion Frames 2 to work properly, for it to start showing the FPS. And you want to also make sure it's in full screen mode. If you start the game and then turn it on, it might not work. It might work, sometimes it don't. I don't know, it's kind of finicky, you get what I'm saying? So make sure you just boot up the tracker first, and then you jump inside the game. And also, as I said before, if you're using this tracker, you can, but it might be sideways like that across your screen, and it's kind of annoying to me, you know what I'm saying? So I just go with the Lenovo tracker, even though it's kind of finicky. All you gotta do is just make sure you boot up the software before you turn on the game, guys. And if it's not working, just restart your game again and just boot up the software. Eventually it should fix it, because this is a side loaded driver, as you may know. It's not tweaked by Lenovo yet, so maybe that's why we're still having issues with that. Also guys, I got a question for you guys. If you guys know how to solve this issue that I'm having. Alright, so I got Black Ops 6 with Game Pass, right? Got it right here. But it's not showing up in my AMD app. It did show up the first time I downloaded it, but I had to do something. I had to delete my AMD software, and then when I re-downloaded and got it back on my system, it just didn't came back up. I tried to add it in here just by adding a game. I add it right here, but it's still not working in the AMD application. So if you know why is that, just let me know in the comment section down below, guys. But the game still runs fine with in here in the Xbox app, but I just can't tweak it in here because it's not showing up in the AMD app. And no matter what I do, it's not coming up. I know there's a couple people having the same issue, but if you have an answer for me, guys, drop a comment down below. You'll be able to help me out, and also a lot of people out there that's playing on the Game Pass. So yeah guys, so that's basically it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you just want to know how to side load this driver 24.10, 24.9, the link will be in the description box down below, guys. Just watch it. This right here, guys, trust me, this new driver right here is a game changer for this system. With AMD Fluid Motion Frames 2, it's a game changer. If we sit here and wait on Lenovo to update these drivers for their system, we'll be waiting here forever, because I'm not sure what's going on with Lenovo, guys. So yeah guys, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, drop a comment down below, let me know what you think, what you're running, what feature you like the best, what you're not using, what you think I shouldn't use, if you have an opinion on that. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember what I always say, guys, health is wealth, peace and love. I'm out, guys.